EWW ETF, which tracks the Mexican stock market, meanwhile, is falling after the election of Mexico's first female president, Claudia Sheinbaum. She's a leftist who vowed to continue the work of the outgoing leader, AMLO, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. And Mexico's bourse is on pace for its worst day in nearly 4 years. Let's talk about why, plus other global opportunities, now with Tim Seymour. He's Chief Investment Officer of Seymour Asset Management and a CNBC Fast Money trader. Tim, a lot percolating.
Hey, Kelly.
Do you think Mexico will really bring us up to speed? What's been happening with the market there the past couple of years? Has AMLO, no one expected him to be that friendly towards it, I imagine.
No, and you can make an argument that Mexico's been one of the best performing, along with India, and I'm sure we'll get there too, but of the emerging market economies and certainly markets to invest in, even though it's only 3% of the MSCI, Mexico from the COVID lows. So if you looked at the EWW, which gives you currency exposure to the peso, and then the top names in that index, you've outperformed the S&P by about 53% as you got into mid-December. So it was a big outperformance story. Obviously, since then, the market's been wrestling with the election cycle. Clearly, the outgoing president, the kind of support for this type of policy was certainly ultimately market friendly. The real surprise on the election result is in Congress. So does Sheinbaum have the mandate and then the ability to push through the type of reform that would be concerning for markets that are looking for market reform type policy? People are very concerned about the energy sector. I think on some level they're concerned about the budget. These are two places where I'm not so sure it's going to be as ugly as the market's pricing in today. So again, part of the move in Mexico today is a function of where we have come from. And again, the Mexican peso has been a buy the dip currency because of its positive carry for 3 years now.
But let's rewind for a second. So you're telling me that Mexico has been a major outperformer since COVID, which is shocking. Yes. I mean, we hear obviously stories about all the gang violence that's still plaguing the country. We know the previous president had leftist policies supposed to be market unfriendly. What accounts for that outperformance?
I think it's a combination of the macro. I think a stable oil environment, and I argue that we have one. Some other people might say, that's a difficult argument. I look at the price of oil and I look at what's still an oil economy on some level, but also the nearshoring dynamics. I think what we've clearly seen in terms of global bring it back home is very Mexico friendly. And we'll see where we get into the political cycle in this country. At times, Mexico is on the other side of that political argument in terms of where the U.S. was courting versus pushing back. But I think Mexico is a story that longer term is a great story. And I think it's a story where the fiscal dynamics are getting better and better. I think the currency relative to, PPP is actually quite cheap. So we'll see. You don't have to chase this trade today. I think let's wait and see who this cabinet is. Let's see who the finance minister is. Let's get a sense of what that budget looks like. But this is an opportunity. It's not a reason to run, too far from the door.
Still, if she's supposed to be, similar to her predecessor, and investors maybe can expect more of the same, and that would be a good thing. Just want to ask before you go to kind of switch gears and talk about Europe. And we mentioned some of the PMIs there are looking a little bit better. But you think at this point it's just all about the companies. Who is granola?
Yeah, this is another one of these acronyms, and depending how you spell it, granola, and whether you eat granola, you might find this interesting or not. But again, you're talking about Glaxo, you're talking about Roche, you're talking about ASML, you're talking about SAP, you're talking about Novo Nordisk. So you have some pretty sexy stories within both the pharma space, I think in SAP in terms of software, and ASML in terms of the chip land. So you have a chance for Europe's kind of fighting back in terms of where at times it's felt like you didn't have some of those exciting growth stories. You look at companies that are big global companies paying high divs. I'm a PM of an ETF called IDEVO, which owns a lot of this kind of stuff. And this is the story. The story is finding companies that are actually somewhat defensive in terms of their cash flow profile. And this is an argument that Europe, which has underperformed for such a long time, I think started to show some outperformance over the last 6 to 12 months. It's been sideways, but it's certainly been keeping pace. And these types of investments are not swinging for the fences. It's actually getting, I think, high-grade companies under the belt.